Welcome to Never Too Late for Fitness Radio, bringing baby boomers proven strategies and innovative products for getting fit, staying fit, so you can live a longer, healthier, and happier life. Here's your host, best-selling author and fitness advocate, Phil Ferris.
This is Phil Ferris, and welcome to our show. Never Too Late for Fitness Radio provides answers and straight talk about fitness, nutrition, and healthy lifestyles for people over 50. Our goal is to educate and advocate health and fitness strategies that help you live a longer, healthier, and happier life. As people get older, two fears begin to emerge: the fear of falling and the fear of losing cognitive performance. Today's guest will describe how her products alleviate both those fears. My guest today is Cathi Lamberti, founder and CEO of SMARTfit, Inc. Cathi is a career entrepreneur, having founded and run 5 separate companies. She started SMARTfit in 2013, and their products combine brain fitness with body fitness, improving physical, sensory, and cognitive performance, creating a fun, multisensory experience for all ages and abilities. Their SMARTfit exercise technology utilizes the latest in brain-body exercise science to deliver a unique solution that improves mental and physical fitness. So thank you, Cathi, for being on the show today.
Thank you for inviting me to speak with you, Phil.
Now, to help our listeners get a better understanding about your company, can you tell us about the origins of SMARTfit and the people that it's designed to help?
Yes. One of my earlier companies was a company called SportWall International, and it was a company that made target-based systems that focused on using computer game technology to get the person moving with their whole body. So SMARTfit is an advanced version of the original SportWall product that I developed in the 90s.
All right. And what particular populations is this new SMARTfit product designed to help?
Well, quoting Dr. Charles Liu from USC, it's a full spectrum product line. So I say it's great for the kid in all of us, for whether you're 2 years old or 82 years old. It works for everybody because we all enjoy play. So the focus of the SMARTfit product line really emphasizes the element of play so that you enjoy the workout and it's less work and more play. Okay.
Now, I know that your product is designed around the Hebbian Theory. Can you explain what that is and why it's so important, especially for the people over 50 that are listening to the show?
Yes. The Hebbian Theory won the 2011 Nobel Prize, and that theory focuses on the research done around neurons that fire together will wire together. So what we've done with our SMARTfit product in incorporating the Hebbian Theory is that we get the whole body going: the hands, the feet, the eyes, ears, the sense of balance, vestibular, along with cognitive decision making. If you imagine playing a sport on a field, that's exactly what's going on. Hands, feet, eyes, ears, cardio, vestibular, cognitive, all of those things are working when you're out on the sports field. Same kind of thing happens with SMARTfit. We can take all of those elements and put it into a system where you only need a little space to do this. And that way you can get the benefits of playing a sport, but you get those benefits by doing a 15 to 30 minute workout in a gym or in a cardio room.
Okay. Now, because our people can't visualize or see what your product looks like, can you describe a little bit what it looks like in a workout facility and maybe an exercise that they may encounter so they'd have an idea, appreciate how it works?
Yes. If you can imagine what a computer game does, basically you're chasing elements on a screen and you're trying to earn score. So if you're playing a game like Angry Birds, you're trying to knock out all these little piggies with the bird that you have, and you hit the start button and it flies and crashes and delivers some points. So that whole idea of playing a short game over and over again to build your skill is the same idea we apply to SMARTfit, but instead of it being done on a screen or with a mouse or on your iPhone app, you're playing your whole body. You're running, you're jumping, you're stepping, you're playing with real sports equipment. When you're doing that, you're squatting, you're playing with a ball. And the target or the screen, it's not really a screen, it's like a target wall. It's located on a wall or on a frame stand, and it's got targets, sensitized targets and each target is intelligent. It has the ability to ask a question or participate in the game. So you're tapping targets to earn score, and there's a time clock that counts down, and you're trying to tap those targets as quickly as you can to earn as many points as you can. But instead of just having your hands and eye doing the work, your whole body's engaged doing the job. So that way we engage the Hebbian theory, and you're doing a full body workout while you play.
Okay. So I saw some videos where it had a person doing a push-up, that they would push up and then they would have to touch one of the sensors on a board. So instead of just doing, a standard push-up, they had to do something else and recognize where they had to put their hand. And this was done based on their ability to do the activity. And it was something that gave them instant feedback on how well they scored based on when they hit the sensors, they got a score, and they gave them instant feedback, which kept them engaged. So
yes.
Engagement is very important in this one. Why do you think that's important in an exercise program like yours?
There's a gigantic difference between passive exercise, like sitting on a bicycle or on a treadmill watching television, and exercise where your brain and your consciousness is actually engaged in the exercise. That's when Hebbian theory kicks in. It kicks in because I want to achieve something. A good example of it is if I want to learn to drive and I sit behind the wheel of a car and sit there and do nothing, I'll never learn to drive. But because I have the intention and desire to learn to drive, I'm going to reach out for the wheel. I'm going to start engaging and implementing different motor exercises that may be very rough and difficult to implement at first, but with practice, those motor skills are going to come together and I'm going to be able to drive my car. It all starts with the desire to drive. So with a computer game, it starts with the desire to win score. I want to win, and I want to see how well I did, and then I'm going to try it again, and I want to see if I did better. So the beauty about computer games is it gives you that measurement. The last 30-second game you did, you earned this, and the next one you did was you earned better, and then you can look at it on a graph, and you go, gosh, I'm getting better and better, and that becomes the motivator to keep doing it. So not only does it engage the engagement of the consciousness, accelerate the rewiring of the body and keeping healthy neurons and a healthy brain. That's the one aspect of it, but it also becomes the motivator to keep doing it.
Okay, so it gets them engaged and it keeps them motivated, so they keep on doing it. I think it was interesting that one time you told me a little bit about what actually inspired you to start down this path with the SmartFit technology. Would you mind sharing that?
Yes, I was in Santa Monica waiting to see the Cirque du Soleil show, and we had arrived early and were killing time, so we took a walk on the Santa Monica Pier. And being fairly new to the country, I wasn't very familiar with arcade games. This was early 90s, so the whole idea of kids playing arcade games was a little foreign to me. And so I became fascinated and then very judgmental. I thought this was terrible. These kids were wasting money. They were barefoot. They were dirty. Where were their parents? Where's the discipline? All of this judgmental stuff. But I was also curious about what was going on. So I stood behind a little boy who I remember he had earned 130,000 points shooting something and out of the sky, and I guess it was airplanes with bombs or something, but he was very, very engaged. And in standing behind him, I was fascinated by what he was doing. So I got myself $10 worth of tokens, and got on the machine next to him. And it took a matter of minutes, and I had no more tokens, and I was broke, and I had learned nothing. So I stood behind him again, and then I became respectful and fascinated because I realized this child was reacting to things on the screen that I couldn't see, let alone react to. And there was a moment of an epiphany that happened. I went, oh my gosh, this child has superior vision, but he also has superior motor skills. And I went, oh my gosh. And the epiphany was so strong because as an educator, I'm always looking for ways to engage people in wanting to learn. So that was the first thing that grabbed me. But the other part that grabbed me was this incredible hand-eye coordination that had been developed out of this absolute commitment in this kid to shoot things out of the sky, you know. So I went into the Cirque du Soleil show, and needless to say, I didn't see that show. My head was spinning. I had had an epiphany about using that technology to get people moving, loving moving, but also developing superior motor and neurological rewiring, you know. And I was just fascinated by that. And I went, my gosh, what if I took that idea and turned it into a big target wall, you know, that you played ball against, you know? And so that was where I was. I was just captivated by that idea. And needless to say, I became obsessed with finding a way to do that. And I found an engineer, and we created a prototype. Billie Jean King at the time heard about it because I was actually prototyping it with tennis, the game of tennis, and treating the target wall as a tennis backboard. And she heard about it, and she was fascinated, and she asked if she could meet me and try it out. So we set that up, and she absolutely got it. I mean, she's such a visionary, and she understood what I was doing. And from a point of view of an athlete, she totally understood what I had in mind and where I was going. And that was the start of my journey.
Okay, so it's interesting that you saw a kid playing at a video game and spending hours developing a skill, yet he wasn't aware that he was developing those skills. And if you would have said,
not at all,
go and do math for 2 hours, he would probably balk and hesitate. But
completely
voluntarily, he's sitting there engaged, developing skills, you know, on a very unconscious level. And what you're doing is saying,
right,
we can use that same engagement, and we can very purposefully develop specific skill sets using technology and programming as well as physical activity. So
absolutely.
Now, one of the things I want to focus on is our 50 plus population. Although your product can be used with kids, it can be used with athletes of, you know, from beginners all the way up to professional athletes. But it's very well documented that the 50 plus population is facing a number of health challenges as they age. Can you describe some of those challenges and the way that SMARTfit can help address them?
Yes. One of the things about SMARTfit is that it engages the brain, and it exercises the brain in a very, very powerful way. So you can't play SMARTfit unless you engage your brain. And I'm in my 60s now, and my biggest worry is losing my cognitive faculties. You know, the other thing is I'm afraid of, losing mobility. So what SMARTfit does is it trains you exercise your mobility, your cognitive faculties simultaneously. So just an example, I was in the gym yesterday, and it was I was the youngest in the class, and we were training on a SMARTfit system in my gym, and we had a terrific time. There was a lot of play and a lot of laughter, and I just had such a fun time with these 70 and 80-year-old women who, believe it or not, were really good at being able to play ball and do balance exercises while they were answering math questions like square roots and times table and addition, and bringing those two things together. I'm not just pushing dumbbells. I'm pushing a dumbbell and then answering a question on it by striking a target with the dumbbell. And then you get that positive reinforcement, and then you run off looking for the next target that might have the next question and the next answer. So it's a little bit like a paper chase, where the faster you answer the math questions, the more points you earn. And we had a great time yesterday, and the oldest person in the class was about 87 years old, and I was the youngest at 62. So there we are. We're doing sidestepping. We were doing balance. We were standing on an Eric's pad with one foot while we were answering questions and by striking these targets. So total engagement of the brain and the body doing functional fitness exercises under the supervision of a trainer,
Wow, that sounds, it's fun. And they're developing not just the mindless, let me do an hour of cardio while I'm zoning out watching TV or listening to an iPod, but you're actually engaging the brain. So you're developing new neural pathways, which helps them in terms of their sharpness, their focus, and cognitive performance. But
correct. And one of the things that's important to know is that, I go to my gym, and I have been going for a long time, working out with a trainer, and I do functional fitness training. Well, functional fitness means exactly that. You're using your brain and your body to do this. But with the addition of the SMARTfit system in the functional fitness room and having to add the cognitive, I was fascinated by how quickly I fatigued. And, when you're engaging your brain while you're moving your body, you're challenging yourself to go to another level. And everybody in the room was saying, my gosh, this intellectual, this mental demand while I'm doing my workout is calling for another level that I didn't even know I could reach into, So there was, we were just testing the system out. It's not released yet, and we were just testing it out in my gym. And we were just, including me as the inventor, we were fascinated by how it challenged us, in our usual exercise environment.
And I guess one of the important concepts here is the idea that the brain, like muscles, it's kind of a use it or lose it kind of thing. There's been a number of studies where people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s can add muscle mass by working out, just by going through a structured exercise program that's designed to build strength. And I think that the Hebbian Theory is also proven that you can develop new neurons to develop new cognitive abilities if you, in fact, train and work on the brain. So combine the two is actually going to be a lot more challenging. Just like when you play a game, you're going to be more fatigued because it's more engaging. You're involving more activities. Motor activities as well as cognitive activities.
Now, that's correct. In fact, we're training athletes on the SMARTfit system to help them endure the fourth quarter and perform better in the fourth quarter. In competition, the game is usually won or lost in that fourth quarter. So, and it's not about the physical fitness or the strength or the speed of the athletes. It's really about their cognitive fatigue where they start to break down. So using SMARTfit with athletes has proven to be really, really successful in helping them to conquer fourth quarter fatigue. It's the same principle.
Okay. Now, it's a new technology that most people haven't seen before. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions people may have about the SMARTfit products?
I think the most difficult thing to portray with SMARTfit is that when they look at it on the website or they look at video, they think that it's all about target lights. What is hard to explain on a video is the fact that each one of the targets is actually a screen, an intelligent computer. So when there are other target products out there, and in fact, my earlier sport wall system was a target product. Basically, you're hitting targets. You're trying to play a game called Lights Out or Chase the Target, But what we have with SMARTfit is that the targets are computed. So now it's one target is going to say the square root of 64 is, and then you have to go to the other, find the target that gives you the answer 8, or a target might ask you a multiplication, or simple game like just play the ABCs, find the A, then the B, then the C, then the D, while all the other targets are scrambling letters. So now you're having to sort with your mind. I'm looking for B and C and D, while every time I strike the right target, a new refresh will happen. So there's so many levels of what is scalability with SMARTfit. You can just say chase the colored light. Here's your color pink. Now chase pink and get pink done as much as you can, reach as many pink targets as you can while they refresh. A very simple one is just strike the targets for a good tone, So it can be from really simple to highly complex intellectual demand. And it all depends on the person, where they are, their level of ability, and whether they are physically challenged or physically super fit. The SMARTfit application that actually drives the programming, you can set it for low physical capability, no movement, to high movement, high cardio, low cardio, high cognitive, low cognitive, just plain reaction skills. You can actually set it as you want it to be, and then you can hit the button and it will run through the program that's suited to your ability. So that enables us to say, fine, we can use it in geriatric rehab. In one situation, we can use it for athletic rehabilitation. We can use it for high performance. I can use it for 2-year-olds learning to read. I can use it for little kids at the Boys and Girls Clubs who are delayed academically because they can't sit still. We can get them going. We can use it for people my age who really want to focus on balance stabilization and cognitive challenge, but we also want to have a good time and we don't want to be embarrassed. So we can set it to be easy enough that we don't feel like a fool,
Right.
So the whole thing is scalable to suit the practitioner or the trainer, or if you're just doing your own personal workout, you can just work it out for yourself,
So you can, and every time you go and do an activity, you can see improvement. And then as you achieve one level, then you can move it up another level. So you can see progression in your performance, which gives you the kind of feedback that is needed to want to continue doing it.
Right. The Apple or the Android app that drives the system tracks your results. So you can actually measure your results, track it, graph it, and actually email yourself motivational messages or share it with your friends or your doctor or your practitioner. You can share that data if you choose to, In the meantime, we also enable you to keep that data very secure so that nobody else can access it if you don't want them to,
Okay. And for a lot of people, seeing results, measurable results, especially around fitness, whether it be mental or physical, becomes very motivating because I'm seeing progress. It's like seeing the scale.
Very motivating.
You see the weight go down, or you see you lose the belt notch, and you fit into a new pair of jeans. All those things are measurable things that keep people motivated to sustain the kinds of activities that they need, especially with the people over 50. This is very, very important because at that point, they're not training most of the time. Most people are not training for a marathon or a bikini contest or something like that. They're training for the game of life. How can I live and move more fluidly with less pain and really enjoy the kinds of activities that are important to me? And you have the ability to take them from that, improve at that level. And also, if they want to get to a higher level, you can use the SMARTfit technology to do that as well.
Of course. CNN put out a report this morning about the importance of adult play. None of us really think about how important it is for us to play. We think about kids, but we don't think about how that we adults should be playing. And it is just so heartening to get people onto the SmartFit system and get the kid and the joy and the glow and the enthusiasm and the laughter and the high-fiving. That's a big part of your day. If you can just have that workout with your friends at your club and just come away with the sense of having laughed and enjoyed each other and just having a good time. One of the most underemphasized features of SmartFit is the fact that it's just so much fun.
Well, that is something that gets lost because people, when they say, well, if you want to get fit, you have to spend X hours in the gym. And it's like, it's something I have to do. It's something I must endure to get on with my day, as opposed to something that is fun that I get to do. And that's the biggest thing I tell people when they ask me about what's the best fitness program. I said, the one that you get excited about and want to go do, because you'll keep doing it.
Yes.
And so fitness.
So the difference for me between my usual exercise, I'm always asking my trainer, "Are we done yet? Are we done yet?" And it's a big joke because I'm always saying, "Are we done yet?" When it becomes a SmartFit class, there's no "Are we done yet?" It was like, "Oh my gosh, time's up already." That there's a huge difference when I didn't even track the time. I didn't realize the time went so fast because we were having so much fun.
Well, that's putting the kid back into the adult.
Now, and of course that's my favorite part.
Now, your company's partnering with several nationally recognized experts and scientists who are doing research around the product. Can you explain why those studies are so important?
It's important because I don't want to drive my company and the business based on celebrity endorsements and white papers. I really want it to be science-based. So we've partnered with multiple universities and hospitals who are right now in the middle of or just starting at various scientific studies to actually prove that SmartFit can be used in the treatment program. It actually proven to promote brain plasticity, and it can play a vital role. One of my problems that I've had with having SmartFit and the original Sport Wall is the product is so much fun, you don't take it that seriously. So by putting what I call the scientific backbone into the product, you can have the best of both worlds, the science, the validation, as well as the fun.
And can you tell us about some of the specifics of some of those studies?
Yes. We're about to commence a study at the University of Southern California, USC. We are about to start the Parkinson study, headed up by Dr. Beth Fisher. She is a very, very well-recognized researcher in physical therapy and the treatment of Parkinson's. And she's pretty confident that we're going to show that SmartFit can help in the treatment of stage 1, 2, and 3 Parkinson's. On the back of that, we have Rancho de los Amigos Hospital, Los Angeles County's rehab hospital. They're about to commence a study on stroke and I believe MS, as well as concussion. And then we're working with Kerlan Jobe, the orthopedic hospital in Los Angeles that focuses on performance athletes. They're very, very involved with the full spectrum of life, focusing on neurological disease and neurological wellness. And they're about to commence multiple studies on SmartFit as well. We installed, actually this week, we installed a system in a state-of-the-art room that they'll be dedicating to the studies. So we are talking with Northeastern University to do an Alzheimer's test in Chicago. So I'm hoping to see a research commence quite soon to study how SmartFit can help prevent dementia. So I think that's what I can think of right now. But there are multiple universities. I'm having trouble tracking them.
Well,
That's the good stuff.
That's really impressive, and this has got to be very exciting for you because this has been a project that you've been working on for years and just evolving until the technology has caught up. Now you're going to be actually launching the new product line early next year. Can you describe a little bit about what you have planned for the launch, and if people want to learn more or get involved, where they can contact you?
Yes. I would recommend that our interim website is up and running and that you visit that. It's smartfitinc.com. So just the word SmartFit with the INC, smartfitinc.com. If you go to that website, you'll be able to see video of the different products in action. And these are all pre-release products. Our official launch is in March at the International Health and Fitness Conference. And I believe that's in San Diego next year in March. So we will be doing an official launch there. We'll be involving Gunnar Peterson, who is the trainer for the Lakers. And he is designing our curriculum, our programming. And Gunnar Peterson will be hosting and leading the launch in March next year.
Wow, that's exciting. And for people, I do recommend that you do go on the website and look at the videos. You can't do it justice by describing it. It's even better when you actually get a chance to do it, but you can get a real good understanding of the variety of activities that can be done from those videos. So I'd highly recommend that. Cathi, I want to thank you so much for spending the time and sharing your insights and your passion for SmartFit and the exciting possibilities that it's bringing to fitness, especially for the people that are over 50 that really do want to develop their balance, their physical fitness, as well as their cognitive capabilities. And so thank you very much for being on the show.
My pleasure, Phil. Thank you for having me.
All right.
You've been listening to Never Too Late for Fitness Radio, hosted by Phil Ferris. To learn more about the guests or resources on our show today, or to listen to past episodes, go to nevertoolateforfitness.com.